Last night I came across the most scariest story on Reddit. It was in the paranormal sub. I couldn't sleep. I'm literally going to show it to you. Tell me what you think.
Story was told to me by my uncle, who used to perform postmortems at the hospital. The incident supposedly happened around 15 years ago. My uncle is 55 now, and he had already been doing this work for quite some time when this happened. He told me that is used to working with the dead and dead bodies, however, normally wasn't scared by them. That day, however, something felt completely different. There were three people involved. My uncle, a junior assistant, a senior assistant, a man's body, probably around 25 or 30 years old, was brought in for post-mortem. According to my uncle, the moment they saw the body, all three of them felt extremely uneasy. The body looked strange. My uncle said it looked almost like completely drained of blood. The skin had turned bluish, while the hands and feet were extremely dark, almost as if they had been burned. His junior assistant immediately said he felt very uncomfortable and that something about the body didn't feel right. The junior assistant was someone who strongly believed in ghosts and the supernatural things. He used to say, if God exists, then the devil must exist too. He eventually told them that he couldn't stay in the room, and he went outside. My uncle was left with the senior assistant. Even the senior assistant, who normally wasn't frightened by this kind of work, admitted that he had never felt anything like this before. He tried grabbing the body's legs, but immediately pulled his hand away. My uncle asked him, "What happened?" The senior assistant said that when he grabbed the body's legs, he felt as if someone had grabbed his leg at the same time. My uncle told him that maybe he was imagining things or letting his fear get to him. The senior assistant told him he couldn't continue and wanted to leave. My uncle asked him to stay nearby because he didn't want to be alone, even if the senior assistant didn't want to participate. So the senior assistant stayed in the room. My uncle then touched the body's hair. At first, he didn't feel anything, but after a few moments, he said he started feeling as if someone was touching his hair. Then they noticed something even stranger. The body's eyes kept opening. They would close them, but after some time, the eyes would open again. Both of them were becoming increasingly frightened. Suddenly, the lights went out. The senior assistant started shouting. My uncle was trying to find the light switch by feeling along the wall, while the senior assistant kept yelling that someone was grabbing his leg. Then, suddenly, the lights came back on, and the body was gone. It wasn't on the table anymore. They immediately checked the area where the bodies were normally stored, thinking perhaps someone had moved it. There was nothing there. They left the room and went towards the main hospital building. It was roughly 100 meters away, with a dark path between the two buildings. When they reached the hospital, they found the junior assistant sitting there with an oxygen mask on. A nurse was with him. They asked the nurse what happened. She said he had suddenly started having trouble breathing. My uncle and the senior assistant assumed that he was still frightened by what had happened earlier. My uncle told him, somewhat jokingly, that if he had even seen everything they had just seen, he would probably have been even more terrified. But the junior assistant looked at him and said, "I saw it too." He explained that while he was walking towards the hospital, the same dead body suddenly appeared directly in front of him. Then it disappeared. My uncle immediately asked where the body had gone, but there was no sign of it anywhere. Eventually, everyone went home. At that time, my uncle lived alone. That night, he had a disturbing dream. In the dream, the same man was standing over him and hammering a nail into his head. My uncle woke up and realized that he had a severe headache. What frightened him was the pain seemed to be in the exact same spot where the man had been striking him in the dream. The next day, my uncle went back to the hospital. That's when he learned the junior assistant had died the previous night. According to his family, he had been sleeping when he suddenly started screaming. A short time later, he died. After that incident, my uncle and senior assistant both resigned from their job the same day. I don't know whether this story is true. I'm not claiming what happened as is paranormal, and I can't verify everything my uncle told me. I'm simply repeating the story exactly as it was told to me. What do you think happened?